Since then, of course, you do have silver that has managed to eke out quite a bit of gain. So 2% plus uptick is what you're seeing coming in as far as silver prices right now are concerned. With that said, let's also take a very quick look at gold as well. That's risen more than 1.5%. You're keeping an eye on US inflation data for some more cues in terms of the Fed's next move as well. And that's something that we'll be exploring in terms of what is in store when it comes to precious metals and oil as well. And we do have Kunal Shah, Head Commodity Research at Nirmal Bang Securities, joining us this afternoon. Mr. Shah, thank you so much for taking time out and joining us this afternoon. It is yet another interesting week that we've actually wrapped up. Initially, we did have some of those gains come in. Yesterday, of course, you did have silver especially gave up most of the gains on a weekly basis. What are you looking at, one, for the next week, and how do you make sense of what has happened, what has transpired in this entire week gone by?
I think the major reason for the fall in prices of gold and silver yesterday was Russia stating that if there is a peaceful resolution between them and US, then they may adopt the dollar-based payments, which they are right now doing in yuan or Indian rupee or in rubles. So I think that triggered a massive sell-off in the precious metal vertical in commodities. So right now, so far, the theme was that the BRICS are on the verge of coming up with their own alternative payment system, and they are going to overlook through the US dollar SWIFT-based monetary system. So now again they are coming back to the dollar, so the dollar should strengthen, and then gold and silver corrected post that. So I think it's going to take a lot of time, even if that does. So I think that's not the reason why gold and silver should have gone down. The fact remains is that every rise we see in both of these precious metals, there is likely to be a selling pressure which is going to mount. Because the kind of run-up we've seen in last 1.5 years, most of the positive news are already discounted. Whether there is a rate cut or whether there is no rate cut, whether today's CPI increases or doesn't increase, the fact remains is that precious metal, there is definitely a froth building in. Everyone wants to buy precious metals at levels which are all-time high after rising by more than 250% in a matter of a year. Okay, and gold also rising by 70% in a matter of a year. And then everyone still wants to buy it. That itself shows that there is a more of a FOMO buying rather than the value-based buying right now. And I believe that they are not likely to perform in near future, and the possibility of they are likely to go down is very high. So on every rise, we expect the selling to accelerate in both these metals, and we are not bullish in a shorter term in neither on gold, nor on silver.
Right. Right, no, absolutely, and Mr. Shah, just not just about the rise, right? Because, as the famous idiom goes, that where there's a will, there's a way. It seems like when it comes to precious metals, where there's a dip, there's actually a way for them to, get back up. Do you think it's actually just bargain hunting that you're looking at right now, or some of that FOMO buying that is making its way to the precious metals complex? Or do you think that the fundamentals, not just in the near term, but just in general, the fundamentals are quite strong, and that's why you're seeing some of this bargain hunting, some of this buying also come back to precious metals every time that, you see a dip?
So it's a push and pull scenario for precious metal, where the fundamentals are clearly indicating that there's going to be more and more central bank which are continue to buy gold going forward, even in the year 2026. So the fundamentals are not bearish, at least for gold. But for silver, the way it has risen and the way it has collapsed, we believe that the demand destruction has taken place at a higher levels. So silver, we are not very bullish. Gold, if it goes down, yes, there is a lot of value in gold right now in the current environment where we are living, where we are at the cusp of major geopolitical tension building in, where we are at the cusp of central bank diversifying away from the US dollar. So in that kind of scenario, gold will continue to do well. So I would say the narrative which you said can be applied on gold, but not on silver at this juncture.
No, absolutely, and it is a very complex story when you're looking at prices also. They should tell you the same story when it comes to silver as well. But, Mr. Shah, I wanted to try and understand, it's a very clear bull versus bear situation that you're seeing emerge when it comes to the entire precious metal complex, even more so when you talk about gold as well. But, going forward, let's say somebody has already invested, be that through the physical commodity itself, or through ETFs, what are you advising for them? What should they be doing? Should they be taking some chips off the table? Or how should they be looking at the market right now?
I think silver, whenever you see a spike, I mean around $90 and so, I think if you are long, you should take some profits out of your position. There's no point in increasing your allocation towards silver at these levels. I would not recommend to do that. And as far as gold is concerned, even in gold, I'm not very bullish. Like I'm not having a target of $6,500 or $7,000. So even if gold revisits $5,500, it's going to be a big thing. It's a 10% move, and I think one should not expect more than that. So my near-term outlook is not bullish on both of them, and slightly longer term, if gold goes down more, there will be value, and one can initiate long position in it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shah, for taking time out and joining us on the show. So that's the entire update coming in, when you talk about the entire precious metal space as well. But tell you what, let's take a very quick break on that note. More news and updates on the other side.